Hello, Taurus. This is your February 15th to February 28th, 2017 read. For the main read, I am using the Bonfire Tarot. It's a new deck I got by Gabby Angus West. You can see, in case you want to. And for the supportive cards, I'm using the Secret Language of Color cards by Ines Agal, which I first saw on Angel Souls 444, or Angel Souls, I think is her YouTube channel. So I just want to give credit there, just because that's the first place I saw them. And I thought they were nice. I read them differently than she does, but I just like how she reads them as well. It's just what works for everybody. Works for everybody. No. What are we? We're kind of like building a ladder here. So this is the analytical. Okay, this is an interesting way to read this. So like we got like kind of an interesting feel here. I'm kind of feeling like a little yin-yang feeling. Do I want this card? Yes. This goes here. Okay, so I feel like this is Taurus. I feel like we're climbing a ladder here, which makes me feel like you're taking steps to improve something. Very interesting. Now, I feel like we have the analytical side and then we have the emotional side. And where you're starting from is the Nine of Swords, and this seems to be the base of the situation for you. And I apologize, this pattern just kind of came out and I'm just going with it. I feel like the base of the situation is... I'm getting goose egg feeling. I'm getting like, you feel like you're starting with nothing. Like there's nothing there to begin. There's nothing, so you want something. And you're relying on your inner strength. But I also feel like you're seeing your worth and like, I don't have what I want. I'm starting from nothing, and I'm going forward to get what I want, because it's only up from here. Okay. This is the base of the situation. This is what's kind of moving you into action. You're not happy because something is missing from your life, or some situation has changed, and you feel like you've been left with nothing. Not that that's the literal truth, but that's how you feel. Yes. Okay, so I know these are general reads, but that's basically where we're starting, so if that resonates... This is probably for you. If it doesn't, this might not be. Just keep that in mind. But that's, I feel like, what the big thing is right now. There's a section of your life you can clearly identify where you feel like you've been left with nothing or you're starting with nothing, and you need to change that. And you have the strength to, and you want to, and you feel like you can, and I agree. Okay. The strength, and the analytical side, you have the strength. I feel like you feel a little worn down, but you're going to do it anyway, and you're going to make that effort. I also feel like you're divinely guided, and like there's certain things coming into your alignment, either people complimenting you or people reminding you of certain things they see in you that's building that confidence and helping you move forward. I feel like there's a natural generosity to you, a natural giving. Like I feel like there's a good quality, and by good quality, if you're a giving person, I don't feel like you just give frivolously. You give to those who truly need, and you give to those who reciprocate the same and would be there for you when needed as well. You're willing to help, and you help the people that are also willing to help others in you if needed. Right. There's a lot of scrutiny there, and I feel like it's a good thing. Like you're very careful who you help. You're not into leeches, not into people just sucking the life out of you. And I almost feel like there's a little aggravation with that, like you've gotten caught up in that before, and you keep an eye out for it, and once you feel like this is just somebody who's looking to take as much as they can take, and they will keep taking more and more until everything is exhausted, and you're not going for that. Like, this is the mindset. I don't feel like this is happening, like, but this is where you're starting off. Like, I will help people who help themselves, who deserve help, who need help, who would help others if necessary. Like, I help the people who are helpful and help others. Yeah. Okay. So you're very careful who you help, because I feel like this has been somewhere you've been abused, or you've gotten into a situation or seen it. At the very least, you've seen it, and it's aggravated you If you saw it happen to somebody else, it was somebody who you cared about a lot, and you couldn't do anything to stop it, and it really got under your skin because somebody was leeching off of them, and you didn't like it. And it's just, if it didn't happen to you, it happened to somebody very close to you, and it aggravated you. Okay. Yes, good. All right, now, I feel like you're putting yourself out there, but you're a little nervous about it at the same time. I feel like as you get into this section, I just got to remember where that was. The next 2 rungs of the ladder, and there's 4 for whatever real reason. The first rung is 6 of Swords, which I feel like you're trying to move forward, but you're very leery about who you're helping. You're very leery about going forward in this situation. Whatever you're starting out with, that you feel you don't have anything or you've been left with nothing, you're getting to that second rung, and you're very kind of weary and careful about who you're going to be involved with. And you're kind of looking, but I don't feel like you're feeling all that strong about it in the sense of like being optimistic. Like mentally you're strong. You have the determination to go through with the plans you set. That's not what I'm talking about, though. Like, optimistically, you're not so optimistic. Like, you're like, oh, there's so many people who just take, and I don't like that. And you're kind of a little pessimistic about it. But you're continuing on. When I see this person here, I feel like it's continuing on. Like, I need to move forward. There's people out there worth it. I just don't think there's a lot of them, but they're out there. That's kind of the feeling. It's like glass half empty feeling. Like, yeah, there's water in that glass, but it's not as much as you need. Should be more. Yeah. And I feel like when you were younger, you might have looked at it the reverse. You might have saw it like it was half full and it's going to fill up more. There's more on its way to filling than being depleted. Right? Okay. We're good with that? I think so. Okay. But you are putting yourself out there. This is in your mental side, in the mental sense of like being analytical and thinking things out. You're putting yourself out there. I do feel you're putting yourself out there. You're putting the effort in, and you're trying. You're just like not convinced that it's going to be that easy to do. Right. The next rung is the 3 of Swords, which I feel like you're trying to protect yourself, and you're trying to protect your heart, and you're feeling kind of wounded. You're feeling like you're vulnerable, and you don't want to be, and you're kind of, even though you're out there, and it's almost like you're going through with the plan, you're not overly engaged, and I feel like this pessimism is kind of pulling at you a little, and you're kind of scrutinizing, and like, you're making mountains out of molehills. And it's not like there's no foundation for it, like it's due to things in the past, but I feel like it's kind of like bringing baggage in from the past, and whoever you're dealing with isn't getting a fair shake. Ironically, I don't feel like you're totally off base with how you're perceiving the situation. I just feel like how you're handling it might be a little more gruff than necessary. A little more combative, dare I say? Combative? Like, having your stand on the issue is good. But I feel like you might vent on somebody who it's not really warranted to. Okay. I feel like there's definitely a feeling to be protected here. And I almost feel like emotionally you're just kind of taking a break and you're not really... Like, this is on the opposite side of the Page of Cups here, which, like, you're putting yourself out there and you're trying, but in the emotional sense, you're just, like, taking a break and you're just, like, not really into it. Doing it because I want to move forward and correct a part of my life that I don't like where it is. But emotionally, you're just not there. You're just not wanting to. It's a very conflicting situation because it feels like you want to do it, so you're putting yourself out there and you're taking the steps forward to do so, especially since you said you would. Like, and I feel like this is a contract with your own inner self. Like, I don't feel like you promised someone else that much, but I feel like you promised yourself you were going to do something, so you're doing it. But emotionally, you're just not into it. I almost feel like it's almost like showing up for a date and not really wanting to do it, but following through with the obligation. It's like you make the date, and then when it comes to do the date, you're just like, I guess. I mean, I said I would. I'm not that person to just duck out, so I'm going to do it. I don't really want to, though. That's kind of how it feels. I hope that's better than it sounds. Because I feel like you're going through it because you're feeling like I'm a stand-up person and I do what I say I'm going to do. Even though I don't really want to do it, I said I was going to do it and I'm going to do it. Alright, now, this is interesting because I feel like this situation happens and it hits this bump. And it doesn't have to be a date. Some situation that you're going forward because you said you were going to do it and you get involved and you literally have that feeling like, I said I would do this, so I'm doing it. I'm not really into it, though. I don't want to do it. This sparks something in you. Because I feel like you have this, like, mental audit where you're just kind of like, why? Like, what am I proving? Who am I proving what to here? Like, why am I going through this if I don't really want to do it? And I feel like you're starting to look at the situation in the sense of, like, I really got to define what makes me happy, because why am I doing this if it's not making me happy? Do I need to do this if it doesn't make me happy? Like, why am I doing this? What's the point? Like, am I proving something? Who am I proving it to? I know who I am. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. I know that I'm a dependable person. Like, what am I doing here? And I feel like this is internally, mostly. Internally and emotionally, you're kind of like, there's a little fire lit there, and you're just kind of like, why? What am I doing? And this is a great thing. Like, I feel like this moment is extremely strong, extremely beneficial to you, because it gets you in that sense that you're just kind of like, what am I doing? And I'm seeing it's pearls and it's mauve, which they look just like lilacs to me. And there is actually a lilac card, so I think they're calling it mauve because there's more dark shadows in it. But I feel like this is a breath of fresh air, and I feel like this is wisdom. When I see pearls, a lot of times when I see this card specifically, it makes me think of pearls of wisdom. It makes me feel like getting in touch with your own inner knowing, connecting to the divine. Like, why? Why am I doing this? Like, asking yourself those tough questions and figuring out the answers in your case. And I feel like these support cards are just saying it's a good thing. They're just reinforcing that this is a good thing. This moment is supposed to happen. This is a good moment. Not that you're overjoyed about it by going, why am I doing this? But it's a good moment because it's moving you to the next step to get you back on track to where you want to go. Not to get confused as if you were off track, because I don't feel like you are, but I feel like this is helping you feel more on track and feel like things are going where you want. And getting things to move in a direction that you want. That's where we're going back on track. I don't feel like your life is really, I don't feel like it's that off track. I don't feel like there's anything like went crazy wrong. I do feel like you're not happy with the direction and you're trying to change the trajectory, and this is affording you to move things where you want them to go. It's kind of like you've been asking to change something or asking for a different outcome, so the universe is kind of helping you find this moment so you can clearly see what needs to change and allowing you that gift to change it when you want to. It's on your terms, but it's like putting in front of you, well, you're getting this result because of this. And if you want to get back to where you're happy, this is what you need to do, that kind of feeling. And I think you're questioning yourself, like, what am I enjoying in life? And that's the big point here. What brings you joy? Because you need to get back to things making you happy in this situation. Whatever you're feeling left with nothing, I feel like you need to get back to remembering when you felt you had a lot, more than you do now at the very least. What was that? What were you doing? How did you feel? Like, and why were you feeling that? Like, what were the components of that situation that made it good for you? Because then you have to head towards that again. And I feel like the word trust is popping up here. Regaining trust. Trust in people. Not a person, but that there are good people out there. Yes. That's a big one. The Knight of Wands is right above the Four of Swords, this is your emotional side. This moment, where you're kind of like emotionally not into it, that's what I want to say with this. Emotionally not into it. When you review and think it over, there's a little space here where you're kind of thinking it over and evaluating what was going on and why and where you want to go. when you redefine that, after you've redefined that and decide what you want and where you want to be, then this kicks into play. I feel like this is a little weird. Sorry, it's just aggravating me. When this comes into play, this is your emotions. This is like getting that spark back in life. This is getting happy and having a good time. For some of you, I feel like there's like personal projects or hobbies you might do on your own because you just want to feel good and be happy. And like these personal projects, even though you might be doing them on your own, are very strengthening, are very good for you, very much helping you get back to that feeling of being safe and happy and a positive outlook. This one, he's got that letter is popping out again to me. I read this for a different sign. I want to think it was Capricorn. And that letter popped out. This pops out here again. I almost feel like you're communicating. And this is like, I feel like in your sense, this wasn't the sense in the other one. You're communicating. You're sending this letter. You're sending information out. You're getting people involved. If there's a certain hobby you do on your own, like woodworking or... I don't know what that is. I feel like it's some type of model, like model car or stuff. Like a little, like you're doing something, you're creating something. It's like a small type hobby thing. I'm not even sure what that is. It's kind of like a car, but I'm not really buying it. Maybe a boat thing. It's a hobby. It's a small little hobby, and there's different ways to go with that. Either way, I feel like if that's something you do on your own, you're then connecting. Like you're on the internet now, clearly watching this. I'm assuming. I don't know how else you watch this, but anyway, when you're doing that, you're then starting to look for other people with the same hobby, and that's helping. Getting involved with other people with the same passions as you is what you need to do. I feel like this aspect of the situation is really moving things back in line or in line to what you want. What you want. This is getting what you want. Okay. And that's the emotional side, sending out the information, getting people involved, finding people. And it's mirrored in this one. This is your top rung of this ladder. And you're going to notice there's a little paper airplane in this woman's hand. Again, don't get caught up in the genders in these cards. They are general reads. But all these things around her are possibilities. And I feel like she's just kind of like, after all this goes out, after this message goes out, like everything opens up and more opportunities and feeling better. Like, remember, like the joy. Remember, this is like, what does this say? Having fun with your inner child. This makes me feel having more than enough. This makes me feel like having more than enough. Everything comes to you. All these doors are opening, and it's then just choosing which door best suits you for the time frame. I feel like you're feeling a lot more optimistic with all these possibilities. I almost feel like when you started this ladder at this bottom part, and like this goose egg type starting with nothing feeling, you didn't feel like there was a lot of possibilities or a lot of avenues to go. But by the time you get to that top rung, the fourth final rung, I feel like all these possibilities are right in front of you, and you see them, and now you're just, I feel like now you're like, oh my god, there's so many things to do. Which one do I want? Like, I feel it's like, oh wow, there's so many. Like, what do I want to do here? What's going to work for me? And I'm also like getting like this reading here, basically it's going to make sense for you probably when you watch it. So if you're watching it before or after this time period, which, what is it now? Are we in February? I think February just started when I'm putting this up, so I don't think it'll be up too soon, too much before this time frame comes. But if you're watching it after or before, I feel like you should be actually watching this when this makes most sense to you, and don't get caught up in like a 2-week time frame. Although it's 1 day shy of a 2-week time frame, because this is just basically your progression to get what you want, to get where you want. This moment here is very defining, and even though it's kind of like that emotional feeling of like, I really don't want to do this, I'm just doing it because I said I would, this sparks you to like redefine and think about why. You could even possibly be watching this now, seeing yourself do this, or have something scheduled for the future and already being like, Why? Yeah, that's a good question. Why would I if I don't really want to? I still feel like the situation's probably going to happen anyway, because it sparks you. It sparks you to think in a certain way, and I feel like the emotion comes through because I feel like you're kind of like, I really don't want to be here, and it aggravates you a little. Yeah, like it sparks an emotion which causes you to really connect and think like, I need to clear the air here for myself and think about what I want and why am I doing this? Who am I proving what to? Excuse me. It's midday. I don't know why I'm yawning. That's ridiculous, but I am. Somebody else commented in one of my videos that she thought, I forgot what she said. Spirits? Something about spirits. So I'm going to take it as a good thing. There we go. Because I do that all the time when I read lately. I can be wide awake and I will yawn during the reading. Oh, one last card before I finish this off. And I've probably droned down for a while. I have. Magenta, which I think this is a beautiful color. I don't know how it comes across in the video. In person, it's a very deep, rich, like pinkish, purplish, reddish color. It's like it's got a very deep red, but it's definitely pinkish, purplish too, to me anyway. It says connect to your deepest inner knowing, and I feel like this is like getting to your strength. I feel like this is taking that base of the situation, why you're doing it, how you're feeling, and pulling that love back in. This whole purpose of this situation, this happening, is for you to pull the love, your personal love of the situation, back into it, so you can enjoy it again. Because starting out with feeling like you're left with nothing or having nothing is not working. It's not helping you, but it's a legitimate feeling. The reason these events are happening is for you to define and find the love that you need to create that ending that you want, to create the situation in a light that you want. Okay, this was very interesting. That's the first time I did the ladder reading because it just kind of came out that way. So there you go. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. James4astral@gmail.com. Did this move back that way again? I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining it.